Here it is, we have the new rig, 2003 Nissan GU Patrol TB48. I don't know where to start first, pretty bloody excited. Going to very quickly interrupt and let everyone know that we do have brand new t-shirts available now on the website. We don't have heaps of these, so get in quick if you want your size. Life is better by the campfire. These are AS colour premium shirts printed on the Gold Coast up in Queensland. Tell you what, it did not take long at all to get my hands on the new rig. It was only 2 weeks ago now I posted that video, Toyota Land Cruiser versus Nissan Patrol. What should I get? And after that, sort of the idea, I guess, was keep my eyes out and whatever popped up first that was in good condition, price range, suit my needs, would be the one that I would go with. It was only that after I posted that video that morning, someone messaged me on Instagram, Jake it was, and he said, my mate Nick, not far from you at all, only about an hour away, has tidy, immaculate condition, TB48 GU for sale. Sent me his details, called him up that afternoon, went down there, looked at it. So it was the first one I looked at, and then I was pretty happy with it. It looked like an amazing rig. It was a little bit above my price range because I sort of had my budget around 20-25 grand. But I spent that night researching all over the internet, trying to check out other deals around and if this was a good deal and what else was available, and couldn't really find anything else, especially anything that was close to me. The only other good deals were like halfway across Australia. So I thought, nah, this is too good to pass up. So I went with the first one I looked at. It's in absolutely immaculate condition, better condition than my Nav over there, which is only 2 years old. Doesn't have a scratch or mark on the whole car. It's never been off-road, and it's only got 69,000 kilometers on it, which is a pretty rare find for this model car this old. So the only modifications are your factory Nissan bull bar and some spotlights on there as well. Other than that, everything's original, I'm pretty sure, like all original suspension, full factory model, which is what I wanted. I wanted something that was full grandpa spec, hadn't been touched, that I could build up myself, and I knew that it hadn't been flogged around off-road. Now these GU Patrols are a solid axle front and rear, which is what I wanted, and they've got an absolutely monster driveline under them. You look at the diffs and everything under them, transfer case, you know it's going to be very hard to brake when you're going off-road. And when it came down to the cruiser versus patrol debate, sort of agreed upon by most people that cruisers have the better engines and patrols have the better driveline. And when I'd originally talked about it, I'd only had a diesel in mind, a diesel cruiser or a diesel patrol, because I've got a diesel Navara and I've sort of always used and known, I guess, a diesel off-road. But a couple of things popped up that lent me more towards the petrol. One being that second-hand diesel four-wheel drives are just crazy money at the moment, with the COVID tax in Australia of how much second-hand four-wheel drive prices have gone up. And then it came back to the discussion of cruisers having the better engine, patrols having the better driveline. So I thought, well, is there a way to get both of those? And that's where the TB48 came into play. Now everyone's always going to have different opinions and different ideas, but from everyone I've spoke to, no one's had a bad thing to say about this engine. Everyone says unreal engine, bulletproof engine, best one of the patrols. So you've got that unreal engine and the unreal driveline, which gives you the best of both. Have a look at this engine underneath. As I said, 4.8 litre petrol. They're a straight 6 engine. Not much to say, but there it is. And as you can see, very nice condition for a 20-year-old engine. Now, being it's a petrol, it's going to be a new experience for me because I've only owned a diesel, which I love and which excites me because I love learning about, you know, a different type of engine and new things. To me, this car was the opposite to what I had. I had an IFS diesel ute manual. This is a solid axle petrol auto wagon, so it's complete variety for the channel. The main downfall of it, and I know the thing that people are going to comment is going to be, oh man, it uses so much fuel. That's going to be the thing, fuel, fuel, fuel. And yes, it will use a bit more fuel than the diesel, but from what I've heard, it's not a massive amount. As it seems to be running now, with it in this form, it seems to be about that 15-16 litres to 100. Then as I modify it, add some more weight, bigger tyres, it's going to go up a bit, but you can tune them and bring them back down a bit as well. There's a couple of things in my favour there. Number one, this is not my daily driver. I'm going to drive the nav as the daily driver, which I'm still keeping the nav, by the way. I'm not selling that. I'm going to have the two. So this will be the family car and, you know, maybe some afternoon trips after school on the weekend. And I'll take it on some off-road trips as well. So I'm not driving it around all day where it's going to use a heap of fuel. And with a petrol, your servicing costs are less, so you make up for it a bit there. When I'm taking away on trips and that, I'll be able to use the fuel as a tax deduction, so that'll save me a bit there. And a good strong engine, so hopefully won't be spending any money on repairs and things going wrong in the engine. Now, as you can see inside, once again, beautiful condition. We got the auto. The good thing about these TB48s is they are a 5-speed auto over your 3-litre Patrols, which are a 4-speed auto. It's nice and comfy, lots of room all around you as well. It's got the 3 main things that I wanted, which is it's got aircon, it's got cruise control, and it's got power windows. It's got your airbags on both sides. Even though it's a 20-year-old car, these have, you know, like nice modern features and the safety features as well. Taking a look in the back, you got your barn style doors here that open up. And this is one of the main reasons I got another 4-wheel drive, was because of the growing family and we need the 7-seater. So you got 2 in the front, 3 in the middle and 2 down the back here. And then you still got a little bit of boot space as well. And all these seats have lots of room as well. Everyone can fit comfortably in here. It's nice big space. It's not like you're all jammed and squished in there together. And then with your back seats, they're not that hard to take out if you want the boot space, or you can fold them up and lift both of them up out of the way like that, and then you've got your boot space back as well, and you can still fit the 5 people in there. One thing I'm quickly learning about it is everything seems to just work beautiful throughout it. It's not over complicated, over fancy, got all these crazy features that your new cars have, which half the time end up being a pain in the ass anyway. It's got all your nice, necessary, comfortable things. Everything's well built and well put together in it, and it's strong as well. You look at like some of the features, internals, externals on your new cars, you know, like the nav that I have, they're just not done like they used to be, and that's one thing that I really enjoy about this car. That's first impressions anyway. I've only had it a week, so I don't want to get too carried away yet. In the back here, there's lots of room. That's with the front seat brought all the way back. Obviously sit someone in the middle here, or there's no one in the middle, bring it down. You got some armrests and cup holders here. I have ordered some new seat covers. That's one thing I've already done. I'll replace these ones out and put some over the back here. I can't seem to be able to find any rust on it, anything falling apart. Honestly, it is better condition than my 2-year-old nav that I've thrashed to pieces. This car has been really well kept. To me, I feel like it's going to be everything I wanted in a second 4-wheel drive, and all the reasons I outlined in that previous video. So if you haven't seen that, maybe watch that one for a bit more background of why I needed this 4-wheel drive. If you're going to be able to put like a 2-inch lift and some nice big off-road tires on it, make it super capable. Doesn't have any lockers yet. The rear has LSD, which the Patrol rear LSD is known for sort of being one of the best ones. So I'd say I'd put a front locker in this at some point and then potentially even just leave the rear, but I'll see what happens. It's got a heap of power, so when we need to tow something, when we're all going away on a family holiday or camping trip, I know confidently it's got the power that I need to do that. I believe it's got a 90 litre main tank and a 40 litre sub tank, 130 litres, so you still got plenty with you, and I can, you know, carry some extra if need be. The other good thing about these GU Patrols is I know they're popular and people have seen them around a fair bit, but they're popular for a reason, because they're a good car, and it means a lot of people have them, so a lot of people are going to be interested to see what I do with this. And you got that parts availability and modifications availability. It'll also be interesting to see with the petrol off-road, because the main thing there is maybe around water and mud. I think they can, once they get a bit wet in the spark plugs or whatever in the engine bay, they can have those issues where they start missing or they shut down. So that's something I probably have to learn a bit about. It's probably the only really disadvantage I know of a petrol off-road so far, but I'll learn and find out as we go. To counteract that, there is a lot of good things about the petrols too. One good one being the petrol that goes into them compared to diesel. Diesel is very sensitive, petrol isn't. If you get some water or get some crap in the petrol, it'll be fine. You get some crap in a diesel engine and it's just about game over for the whole engine. Don't know what else to say. I'm super keen to start modifying it and test it out. The plan of this is I'll do a full build series of it on YouTube, you know, like maybe an 8 to 10 part series over the next 6 months. I'll be taking it for trips stock and then taking it for trips in between, adding mods, like showing what the different things can do, you know, adding them as we need them. And then, you know, maybe 6 months down the track, it'll be ready to take on a bigger trip, you know, down the Victorian high country or something. But I'm still going to be using the nav on lots of my trips, maybe majority for the moment as well. So it'll be sort of a mix between the two, which I think will be awesome for the channel. Then once it's fully modified, I'll be able to take it, you know, out the Wattigans and up to Coffs and test out some of those really hard tracks on it once I get some bigger tires and a bit of lift and some lockers on it. Kind of feel bad, but because it's in absolutely immaculate condition and I don't know if I want to wreck a car like what I do. I might have to get some protection panels for the side of it or get it wrapped or something, just so I don't scratch it to pieces in the first 6 months. I really don't know that much about some cars, so it's going to be a quick learning experience, but I'd love some help. So what do people reckon, you know, anything I need to do to it first, the first couple of mods to it, just, yeah, I don't know, anything anyone knows about these cars, let me know. If there's anything in particular anyone wants to see from the build series of it, let me know. What I'm thinking, which I know is always a good one and what a lot of channels missed, is I'll do a full, like every mod I'll do to it, I'll do a cost of it. And then we'll do a full cost of how much this car cost from buying it to the end of modifying it. And that's the other thing I haven't said yet, of how much did it cost. Okay, so I got this for $28,000, which is a decent amount of money. It's very hard to find a deal like that, and especially on a car that is in as good condition as that. To me, that was a pretty good deal that I got it for. I have already ordered a couple of things for it. I couldn't really control myself. As I said, I already ordered some nice seat covers for the whole thing. I ordered a nice head unit replacement for the front, like a screen there that'll have HEMA maps on it and your Apple CarPlay and all your plugins. I've got some rock sliders and an exhaust on the way, and then I'm just in the process of trying to organise tyres, rims, suspension. But as I said, even though I'm organising it now, with COVID wait times, this stuff can still take months, which is one of the reasons I want to organise it early, because it'll still give me the time to use it all standard and slowly start building it up. But that way I know at least I got some gear coming for it. It is the next day, driving the car to Port Macquarie now to get it, well, not serviced, but get it all checked over underneath. The boys there are going to have a look at it. There's sort of the local patrol and cruiser shop in town. You turn up there and you got about 5 massive patrols in the driveway. So Pat, the owner, he owns a fully engineered 35s 4-inch lift patrol with a LS conversion on it. So yeah, on our way down there now and gonna have a look underneath it and need to fix up the transfer case seal is leaking. It's only like a 20-minute job. We're gonna do that and work out a plan to do a full service on this thing in the next couple of weeks. But while I'm driving it, this car is absolutely beautiful to drive. It surprises me because when I first bought it and was going to get it, I thought it'll end up feeling like a bus or a truck to drive, but it honestly feels nicer than the nav. The braking is really good on it. These 4.8 litres have the biggest brakes of all the Patrols. The steering is beautiful, it's nice to drive, it's quiet in here, it's not loud, it's nice and smooth, and I'll be still upgrading the suspension as well, so yeah, really happy with it. All the aircon's good, it's got even a good sound system for a 20-year-old car, nice speakers and that, and the auto's good, and it has that Tiptronic auto as well, which means you can manually adjust it up and down, which will be awesome when they're out the bush.
And like, it's very smooth as my hands are like blah, blah, blah.
Alright, so I'll check back in when we get there to the mechanics.
Instincts going no, looking bad like a bat with an eye patch. All black through the woods with a backpack and a lit match. Spark one time, get the whole city looking like a dark shade of orange when I burn it down. What it is, what it do, whole clique getting live on the talk of the town. Like my city had a mouth and it wouldn't shut up. On a hunt for a crown, when I get it, I'ma burn it, cause nobody in the game right now even deserve it. What I need a crown for anyway? I should have a halo the way that I made a penny turn to gold. And a penny for your thoughts, I bet a penny for your soul. You know you want the riches and the money and the fame, so take a bite of the fruit if you choose. Let the juice drip down, then it wait to a pile to a golden house with a lake.
We just spin these tail shafts around backwards too. Skinny end up there now, so it gives you a little bit more clearance. Like if this end was up there, it's already hit a couple of times.
Yeah, okay, so just turn that tail shaft back to front.
Later on when you get like big flex, you end up notching that.
Yeah.
Cut that out and weld a notch into it. If you get the big bar onto it, just checking the oil level in the transfer.
Make sure I didn't leak half of it out.
He's good and he's nice and clean.
So should we do a check and service on it like at some point?
Would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, yeah.
If we go through and do like all the oils and filters and all that.
Yeah. Check the wheel bearings and like
Re-grease things.
yeah,
and
at least repack the fronts.
yeah.
Like you'd want to clean them up and have a good look at them.
Yeah, so I guess if we book that in at some point when you got time or whatever.
Yeah, sweet. Give it a bit of a clean up under here too and whack a bit of paint on.
Yeah. On our way back home, got that transfer case all fixed up. The front steering box looks like it's leaking a little bit there somewhere, so I'll probably fix that up when we do the service on it. Other than that, looks beautiful underneath it. It's yeah, very, very clean and smick for a near 20-year-old car. Might give it a bit further of a clean up underneath, might sort of clean it up and put get a bit of paint under there. And yeah, Pat's happy to help me do a full service on it, so I reckon we'll film that. We'll do that not next week, but the week after. We'll spend the day doing a full rundown underneath for the whole thing, which should be good. But yeah, that's it. All done. That's the new car. Keen to start testing it, modifying it, getting it out the bush. This is a solid axle petrol. This is a solid axle. This is a solid axle. The main downfall of it, and the thing that I know people are going to comment, is going to be so this will be the family car. It's not an old heap of junk, and one thing I'm quickly learning about is hey everyone, I'm just gonna quickly interrupt the video and let everyone know we do have brand new t-shirts available. These are Life is Better by the Camps. All done on our way back home. Got that seal fixed. All done on our way back home. Got that seal fixed up. The front steer.
Wait, the whole time I was like,